my dance, make it hurt.
Hello and welcome to Project Passion, the podcast made to inspire you to follow your passion and turn it into a successful business or career. My name is Joy Thompson, and this week I'm joined by a friend and fellow marketer, Marc Clifford. Marc, how's it going, man?
Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Firstly, thank you for coming on the show. I know me and you have talked about the show. You've known about the podcast since it started. But don't kind of introduce yourself, people. Anyone that's not in our own marketing space doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, so first off, thank you for having me on. Certainly, for anyone who doesn't know me, obviously my name is Marc Clifford, and I am founder and owner of On the Line Digital, and we're a digital marketing agency focusing on e-commerce and maybe some different sub-niches that you wouldn't expect to advertise online, and trying to find the most profitable route to success for those businesses. So yeah, we've been in operation for probably around a year, 18 months now. So yeah, it's sort of still trying to get our feet under the table, so to speak, but working quite well.
Nice. So you say it's been a year and 18 months. Obviously, you've done something else before this, I assume.
Yeah. So before I was actually in the British Army, so completely different sort of line of work, completely different career change. But yeah, here we are.
Awesome. Had you ever done anything to do with marketing in the first place, or like was it just into the army and then you came out and decided to go into the marketing?
So I started whilst I was still in. Obviously, the pay isn't the best. So I started sort of doing a bit of like affiliate marketing, white labeling some ads for some bigger e-commerce agencies, etc., just to sort of earn a bit of extra cash in my back pocket and supplement the wage. And then I found out in around about January, February time last year that I was going to be medically discharged from the army. So I set up for myself, and we've been rolling ever since.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And it is just yourself? Do you have a team behind the scenes doing any work, or do you?
We've got sort of online BAs and stuff like that, but they're all completely external and not on the books. That's sort of as and when sort of ad hoc basis that we need them.
Yeah. Do you have any plans of actually just bringing in people full time, like open offices, full time staff, anything like that?
So yeah, kind of want to expand into having a team and be able to work on the business and not in it, so not having to particularly run the ads and the onboarding processes and stuff like that. But as for an office, I don't think I want to be tied to sort of one space, if that makes sense. Once all this COVID-19 has gone away and we can travel again, it's going to be sort of like a nomadic agency, if that makes sense.
Bro, when this fucks off, we're going to Bali for a week.
Absolutely.
So, obviously, I know your social media. Obviously, Marc's social media handle will have already been on the screen, but it'll be down in the description anyway. Go ahead and check that out. But obviously, you've been ramping up your social media presence, been putting out a lot more content, a lot more videos as well of yourself, giving advice and tips for other businesses. Well, what's your aim with that there? What are you actually trying to do? Is it just grow the social media, or are you using that as a sort of funnel to bring in new clients to your agency?
So it's a bit of both. So the way I want my social media presence to be is that of authority, so that clients, or potential clients, can sort of look at me, because I outreach through Instagram. I don't send cold email or anything like that. My outreach is done purely through Instagram and social media. So it's having that sort of authoritarian profile, but also being able to help people that are coming through. I think at the minute, a lot of people are buying into the digital marketing space and stuff like that. So being able to help people that are coming through, maybe teach them a few things that I didn't know when I was starting and would have been handy to know.
Yeah. And some good social proof as well, I suppose, for potential clients coming through and looking at your page.
Yeah, well, there is that. We've got some small results that we've been able to share from a few of our clients on my Instagram highlight, so you'll be able to see those, which is always handy for potential clients.
Yeah, of course. And you said there about your outreach, you actually don't do any emails. Do you do cold calls or strictly Instagram DM?
Yeah, so no cold calls. I've never made a cold call in my life. In the 18 months I've been running an agency, never made a cold call, purely because I don't like it. I get nervous over the phone. But yeah, so it's all done through Instagram, and LinkedIn is a new sort of method that we're testing and pushing as well.
See, that's something I haven't bothered. I know Jordan obviously done a video on it there. last week before, I don't know.
Yeah,
He done a
right, yeah.
video on it, and I haven't even watched that yet. But I know a few people, especially within our sort of circles, are beginning to use LinkedIn very heavily. But it's something I haven't one looked at properly to even put together a strategy for, or two, I don't know how beneficial it would be. Like for me, obviously, but if
Yeah,
you,
of course,
I mean,
yeah.
I have it completely set up now. My LinkedIn is properly fully set up. I did take the time to set all that up originally, but I just have never bothered. I mean, I have so many fucking connections at this point; it's insane.
Yeah.
But I know how valuable it is. Like my partner, she's a designer, and she uses LinkedIn like daily, and that's how she's ended up getting freelance jobs that are like bread money. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like I have absolutely no clue how the fuck to use it, mate. To be quite honest, that's to be frank.
Um, I don't think a lot of people do, because although it's a social network, it doesn't work in your typical sort of social network way. The way that obviously like the connections and emails and stuff work. But it's really, really good if you're, especially if you're going for larger sort of companies, especially e-commerce companies. It's a good way to get directly to the owner, because you'll find a lot of the pages that you message on Instagram and Facebook won't actually be managed by the owner anymore. They'd have been outsourced to a team. So it's a good way to get directly to the owner and just sort of bypassing that gatekeeper straight away.
Yeah, but is I assume there's a specific way that you're trying to cut through the noise, because I know for the most part all the messages I get on LinkedIn kind of follow like 5 different templates, and they're all pretty similar. Like, and I think that's why I think I've just avoided it in the first place. Of just like there's so many just random messages getting sent out to every person that gets added or connected with. Like, is there a point to it? Like, do you think there's an actual benefit for people to be getting behind this LinkedIn hype?
I think if it's utilised correctly, yeah. I mean, like you say, every time you connect with someone, they're always selling you their pitch. At the end of the day, it's business owners trying to sell. It's everyone on there is on there for the same reason, unless obviously you're looking for work and jobs, etc. But you just need to try and sort of differentiate, make your outreach different. I can't say that word.
Differentiate. Got you, bro.
Yeah, differentiate. That's going to wind me up now. Like you need to mix up your outreach a little bit with it, because, like you say, everyone's sending you a pitch. As soon as you connect, you know what I mean, they've not warmed you up, they've not talked to you, they're not asked you how your day is, and they're just going straight in. Oh, my company is this company. We do X, Y, Z. Here's some results. Blah blah blah. Sign up at this link. You're like, well, actually, I'm fine, and I take my cup of tea with 2 sugars. But they don't bother to get to know you with that. So what we do is we sort of build up a bit of a warm connection first. So we've obviously already connected with that person's company social, so like their Instagram, their Facebook, checked out their website. If they're on YouTube, we'll have a look at some of their YouTube. If they've got a podcast, we'll check out the podcast, etc. And then we'll go through and you sort of like start commenting on a few of their posts and offering insights and stuff. And then you can sort of start to build that relationship with them and go, hey, I've been checking out your brand, obviously connected you with this. I've been checking out your brand. I've made you a quick sort of 5-minute Loom video, just highlighting a few of the issues that I found with your socials. It'd be great if you could check it out. And then you find that you get a very, very heavy open rate just from sort of building that warm connection. It takes a little bit longer. You know, I mean, you can't smash out sort of 60 messages of outreach in a day, but it's more targeted. They're more susceptible to it, and they're more open to having that engaging conversation with you instead of just going, yeah, I'll humour this idiot for half an hour.
Yeah. So, as opposed to where, for anyone who doesn't know outreach and marketing, it would typically be in terms of cold calls. At least you just have your list and you go through it, you make your calls, and if they're dead, they're dead, or else they go somewhere else in the process. With you, then, Mark, is it more a case of you get your lead list or you get your prospect list, and then you go about doing all them steps? So it's more of a longer game for you, but with a higher success rate in terms of being able to convert prospects to clients, because you go through the element of, all right, well, first I'll follow them, and then I'll like them, and then you obviously spend maybe a week or two liking and commenting on posts and giving that extra engagement, and then you drop your little Lim video in a couple of weeks in, is it?
Yeah, so it's usually about a week to 10 days. So instead
Okay.
of, obviously we've tried with sort of cold email and send a link via cold email, but the open rate is pretty poor. I mean, we
Yeah.
could send 50 emails in an afternoon using automated software such as GMass or Lemlist, and get one open of a Loom. You know, I mean, the open rate on the email is pretty good because we've got good subject lines and we've nailed that. But 9 times out of 10, if you're sending a business owner a video via a link from someone they don't know, they're not going to click it because I think you're just going to be trying to steal their bank details. So sort of maybe connecting with, on average, 75 to 100 people a week who you're seriously interested in working with, and you've done a bit of market research behind, engaging with them and then sending them the value. They can already see you're a real person, you've got a bit of credibility in the space, and then they're more likely to open and engage. Obviously, you still get some that tell you to fuck off every now and then. I mean, I had one this morning. I thought the guy was pretty sound. We're chatting about his podcast and how he got into doing what he does. Sent it in this video, and just got sort of laughed out of his inbox basically. But you got to get that with every sort of method of outreach. You just got to deal with it.
Yeah. And obviously, there's a growth aspect to it as well. You have to have a good looking LinkedIn business profile to then be able to garner that sort of respect in the industry. Do you have any sort of advice for anyone that's trying to grow, or maybe they haven't used LinkedIn before as a way to outreach, and how they can grow their profile, make it look a lot stronger and give it a lot more social proof for these prospects?
Yeah. So 3 things you need. Obviously, you need like a good high quality profile picture, so like a good headshot. If you look at mine, I'm in a tailored suit holding a glass of champagne by a lake. You know what I mean? It's clear cut. It's shot by a professional photographer. It says money. Yeah, it says money. I mean, it was taken at a friend's wedding, and I thought this is a good opportunity. Literally grabbed the photographer after she'd finished taking the bride portraits and was like, "Can I just borrow you for 5 minutes?" Chucked her 20 and had some headshots done. And so you need a good, clear, professional picture. Your profile, the way it's laid out, so you have like an about section in your bio. People aren't interested in what school you went to or what university you went. Obviously, if you've got your university, if you're a doctor, or you've got an MBA or BSc or whatever, obviously bang that on there. But people aren't really too interested in that. So you need a good, authoritative sort of bio. So for me, it is telling people who I am, what I do, and how that adds value to them. So for me, I turn around and say, I help e-commerce owners. So I'm already targeting the industry, generate increased revenue. So that's what I can do for them, utilizing Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads. So it tells them what I do, how I do it, and why. And then they can see straight away that it's no nonsense, and I'm not going to sort of just try and pilfer them, just harassing them with messages. And then the other thing as well is when you are building up your connections, obviously connecting with people in the same space. So if you look at my connections list, a lot of it is people from within the Affluent Academy and other agency owners that I know from outside as well. And having those key endorsements. So like you'll collab on a lot of projects, like obviously we collabed a little bit on helping you with a bit of your outreach and a meeting strategy. And likewise, you're helping me boost my profile here. So if I was to go on LinkedIn, I could endorse you for sort of social media engagement or something like that. And it's just having that little bit of credibility. And then obviously you need good content. So video works quite well on LinkedIn. You need something that's eye-catching, that's going to stop business owners scrolling when they're going through their feed. And the content that you're putting out, it can't just be sort of sharing your memes like you do on Facebook or just posting pictures of yourself on holiday on Instagram. It needs to be engaging and relevant and of use. So this last week, we've been detailing the updates for the iOS 14 rollout, which if anyone doesn't know and is in the digital marketing space, buckle up because it's one hell of a fucking ride.
Yeah, I think we both realised that this week. I think everyone we know realised this week that this is a nightmare already. It's not even out yet. It's not even fully fucking released yet, and it's already a ball ache to start the new year.
Oh, it's an absolute bitch. Literally, like rolling from the nightmare of 2020 and then into this of 2021. So obviously the highest CPMs and stuff at the back end of 2020 and then rolling into an iOS 14 rollout. It's literally just like being punched in the face every morning when you wake up just to say this is what's going to hit you today. You're like, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. If anyone hasn't tackled it yet, it is just balls. Like, talk about going in, it'll tell you your domain isn't verified, so you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to re-verify your domain. If you're an e-com store and that means you have a Shopify store, that means you're going to have to go onto your Shopify. You're going to have to either access DNS, upload an HTML bullshit file, or you're going to have to access the meta code and insert another piece of code into the meta code in the header of the page. Then after you do that, if you want to run a carousel retargeting ad, you're going to have to make sure that you have correct tags on all of the purchase conversions, and then you're going to have to make sure that they're all verified to your domain. And that's all I've had to deal with so far. I don't know if you've had anything different. You've probably had fucking worse problems than that.
Yeah, so we're going to have that issue. I mean, we're literally straight after this, I'm onboarding an author from Canada. So we're going to have those sort of issues, but sort of losing attribution windows, loss of retargeting, cold targeting as well. I mean, we're quite lucky that some of the brands we're working with are quite established. So there hasn't had to be a lot of sort of cold brand awareness because the targeting for that now is just ridiculous. So with iOS 14, you can't target by gender or gender or age anymore. So it's just a guessing game, really, unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you're all right technically if you have certain products that don't follow an age range. If your age range was already going to be like 21 to 55, you're going to have a higher CPM. It's going to affect a lot of your metrics anyway. But at least in terms of being able to target and not taking in the financial sector, you're still going to be able to target the same people if you have products or services like that. But if you have a product specifically set to 35 to 45, you're fucked.
Yeah. If you're selling life insurance to over 50 females, you are fucked. You're better off targeting cruise line groups because that's your target market essentially.
I was just about to say, it just means we have to get really fucking 200 IQ here and start targeting interests that only them, like fucking TV shows from the 70s or something that only they will have watched. You will have to get
when you scroll through an old Deer's profile and it's like likes are like 40 towers and all that sort of stuff, and just going back to that sort of age. I literally, if I was to ever work with an industry like that, I would just look and go, how would I target my mum?
Yeah,
that's how I would break it down.
I don't know. I think it would be an absolute nightmare to have to try and do it. Thankfully mine are my interest and my targeting is based on different things other than age. So thankfully mine doesn't have too much effect there. Mine is just a case of the technical side and the fucking trying to wire everything together.
Yeah.
That was already wired wrong in the first place, by the way, when I actually finally jacked it.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't done right.
That's the worst thing as well. Like when someone else has been working with a brand that you then start working with, and they're just an absolute cowboy. You go in and everything's set up incorrectly, and you look at some of the old ads and the targeting, and you're thinking, what the fuck are you doing, and where did you learn Facebook ads? Because I've never seen this anywhere. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Looking at audiences that are made from interests, and then
yeah,
it doesn't make no sense. And then another one was like 4 purchase conversions on a homepage. Or no, 4 purchase conversions were on every page. The page view was a purchase conversion, and there was 4 of them. So it was basically firing purchases 4 times on a homepage, and every page then after that.
I suppose that's how you stack your numbers, isn't it?
Looks good for the ads. So something else I want to kind of ask your opinion on for these people, as you say, a lot more people are getting in digital space, coronavirus, a lot more people are stuck at home, people are more hard on cash, they're all looking for new ways to get out of that sort of situation. And a lot of people are turning to the internet and more online jobs. For any of those people, is there advice you would give them in terms of do it, don't do it, what you should do if you're going to do it correctly?
Yeah, so obviously this is entirely dependent on what you're doing. But for the most part, avoid MLMs or pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing schemes, because you're not going to really make any cash. Yeah, you know I mean, if you're selling a product for someone else, taking a bit of cream off the top, but you've had to pay 250 quid to get those products, you're already at a massive disadvantage, and people are just going to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, people are sick of it at the minute.
And for people that don't know what that is the people on your Instagram that sell products for other companies, and then they get their little promotions, and they're like holidays, and they're like Range Rover discounts and shit.
Yeah,
it's a pyramid scheme.
Do you want to join my wax melt business? Well, no, because it's not your business. You're just selling. You're a salesperson for another product. You fucking wax melt.
Granted, I bought an aftershave from one the other week. It was really nice, actually. Granted, it's like it's like a bottle of Sauvage, really nice. Granted, and I will probably get another one because it was fucking cheap as fuck. But yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. Yeah, you're never going to
Yeah,
be a millionaire. You're never
yeah.
going to
So
be somewhat rich even from it.
yeah, I mean, but it can work. It's just so time consuming, and you're not getting as much out of it as if you were setting it out from yourself. I mean, someone that I look up to in sort of a digital marketing space, um, who runs ads for companies, but he does that as part of an MLM, and he's quite successful. I mean, he's living out in Spain at the minute. Him and his missus sold their house a couple of years ago, just been traveling, and currently I think they're in Spain anyway, just sort of getting away from Corona. So he's quite successful at it. But the thing is, he's been doing this since the company's inception. He's a lot higher up. It's all just sort of smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
avoid those. Find something that you can sort of be passionate about, because if you just go online and you start affiliating, so affiliate marketing, if you don't know, is selling products for commission, but there's no sort of promotions. You don't have to hire anyone. There's no levels to it. You literally just advocate for a brand. So, for example, like clothing brands, where they offer you discount, and every piece of clothing that you sell, you get a percentage of. So that's affiliate marketing. It works well if you've got really good blogs or websites or whatever. Great for that. So that's always one avenue. But you just need to sort of find something that you're passionate about, because if you're selling wax melts or clothes that you're not really bought into, you're not really passionate about it, you're just going to be sort of sat on Instagram for a few hours a day, not really knowing what you're doing, not really caring, and just going, everything online is a scam because I can't sell. So find something that you're passionate about and that you could probably do direct to customer as well. So D2C, do direct to customer. So I play a lot of golf, and there's a guy on one of the buy and sell pages, Golf Spot Buy and Sell or whatever it's called, who has created understair storage for like golf clubs and shoes and stuff, and he makes them in his garage at home, and he's selling them for £80 a pop direct to the client, and he's absolutely killing it because that's his passion. He likes working with materials and work with his hands, and he plays a lot of golf. So find something like that you can monetize, and as I say, you'll never work a day in your life. And then finally, research what you're doing. You can't go and create a social profile and con people out of their hard-earned money, and businesses out of their hard-earned money, stating that you're an expert in something when you've never ever done something before. I mean, just taking a digital marketing course and then going, yeah, I've done that, and then saying you're an expert in Facebook ads, you're just chatting shit because you've never run ads before in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And businesses will appreciate a lot more if you're honest about that.
Yeah. So something else that's kind of been in the news. Well, not I say in the news. It's been talked about at the minute. Probably more amongst people like us and business owners as opposed to regular people. But Clubhouse. I assume. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on Clubhouse then? When you pull out your phone.
I'm an Android user, so I've never used Clubhouse. But from an outside perspective, I suppose it can be good for building your knowledge. I mean, there was a room on Clubhouse that I saw this morning that had Marc Zuckerberg, who no doubt was in there just to see how he could plagiarize Clubhouse and integrate it. Elon Musk, there was sort of several billionaires, high-level entrepreneurs in there. So, I mean, it's great for that.
No, Yeezy was in a room the other day. I was looking at, mad as fuck.
Was he?
Yeah.
It's mental, isn't it? So, I mean, it's a great way to sort of engage with those sorts of guys, the guys that are just, Elon Musk now the richest man in the world, which is just absolutely crazy. If you don't know the story of Elon Musk, you really need to check it out, because he didn't like the way that payments were taken over the internet, so invented PayPal. Didn't like how much fuel his car was using, so invented Tesla, and then become one of the richest blokes in the moon and went, fuck it, I want to go in the world, and went, fuck it, I want to go to the moon.
Yeah.
So, that's a great philanthropy.
And then he beat NASA, who's been doing this for what, 60, 70 years, longer than that, and he beat NASA to it. He's like, I'll get the Mars first, don't worry.
Yeah, and he put a car in space as well. So there's a Tesla floating around space if you want to go up and grab it.
I like that. NASA's been doing this for years, and he just goes, do you know what, hold that, bitches. I've got it, don't worry.
Yeah, just spending cash at it. Just throw cash at the problem.
Then he's like, but,
Um,
but I'll let you use my rockets if you want. You know, if you pay me enough, I'll let you use them. It's fine.
yeah, exactly. It's like Uber for NASA.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then on the other house with Clubhouse, I think it could just be a massive waste of time, and it's just a massive marketing dick fest. So everyone is just, oh, my ROAS is bigger than your ROAS. My clock's 9 inches, and yours is only 8.5. I think it could just be a massive waste of time and draining your time and resources away from where it needs to be.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought at the start. I thought, oh, it's a bit overhyped. It's a bit, you know, it's just kind of there, but it'll die out. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, this could end up being the next thing, right? This could. And then I watched the Gary Vee video, and ever since I was like, it's the next fucking thing, lads. Everyone needs to be on it. I'm Samsung as well. Granted, mine looks a lot more shit than yours. You wouldn't think I owned a digital agency, would you? My phone's fucked. Um, but honestly, I have an iPhone, and I've got it on that, my old iPhone. Mate, honestly, it is legit. It's cool as fuck. Like,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is going to be the next big thing because of how quickly it's taken off. You know,
it's
people said
mad.
TikTok was going to be a load of shit and it's just for kids, and now people are making six-figure businesses just from TikTok. I mean, I don't know if you've seen on the news that guy singing pirate shanties. He's now like one of the biggest viral sensations ever. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've seen him.
I've seen him on as well. Do you know Papa Roach, singer?
Yeah,
Um, that song, like the whatever it is, the Papa Roach song. You know, I can't remember the name of it right now. There was a guy on TikTok singing that song. So Papa Roach got the guy, flew him to a studio, and then re-recorded the song with him, like Papa Roach's biggest song, and re-recorded it with this guy off TikTok.
that's mental. So
Recorded a
yeah,
video and all for it, so he did. I mean, I watched my best at like 4 a.m. and I went and watched it the other night. Insane.
that's ridiculous. So you know what I mean? It's taken off in ways like that, and it's going to take off in ways like that. But
Another one, just to shout out my YouTube video coming out this Saturday as well because it's relevant. Machine Gun Kelly, Downfalls High, the actor in that, Lil Huddy, TikTok star. That's all he does. He's a singer, rapper, person on TikTok,
yeah,
as well as the other people. So yeah, shout that out Saturday. It's on my YouTube. You'll go get it in the description.
boom, there we go. Nice little plug on your own channel there.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
I
you got
see
to
it
use
for.
it for. So yeah, it's gonna be big, and when people can learn how to monetize it properly, then absolutely fine. I think it's good at the minute for sort of like high level coaches and stuff like that. I mean, there's a property investor I follow called Rob Moore. He's a multi-million pound property investor. He's got podcasts, he's got YouTube channels, and he was on Clubhouse. I think it was for 10 days, and his growth on there was just crazy. He overtook every other social media platform that he's got in 10 days. Purely because of how crazy it is. But he's got the money, the resources, and the brand awareness and the following. It comes down to that again. So it's going to be good when people can learn how to monetize it, same as TikTok, and now that people are monetizing other social medias. So we'll get there. But at the minute, it's people just waving their dicks about going, "Oh, look at me, I'm on Clubhouse." So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I got it in the first place. Like, that was the reason. I wasn't that interested. And then I seen it was invite only, and since I read invite only, I was like, someone give me a fucking invite. I was like, I
yeah.
want to
That's
join.
the thing. They've created
That's
mass
it.
scarcity. Yeah. How
And they
many
didn't
like
mean to. They didn't mean to. It wasn't
yeah
on purpose. Their server just wasn't big enough to handle the world traffic, so they just not enough infrastructure, make it invite only. And then
yeah
suddenly
exactly.
everyone fucking wants it. Everyone.
Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that if you don't have an invite, you get sort of put onto a waiting list, and then they could just sort of add you in when they've got the infrastructure. But invites are outweighing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely
You
crazy.
you can reserve your username if you're interested in clubs. Go check it out. You can reserve your username right now, but you can't have an account. You can just reserve your username, which is really important, I suppose, especially if you're a brand and you want to have your own name. Which is again why I was kind of like, fuck, I want my name the same as it is on Instagram, so I need to get on it really. But
Yeah,
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 go reserve your username and get an invite. I mean, a lot of people now are having invites. You get invites. You get one when you join, and you get extras for like spending time on the app, hosting rooms and joining rooms and shit. So I
right,
think a
okay,
lot of people are getting invites now. Like everyone I know of is getting like 3 invites a week or something like that there just from casually listening. So I mean, there's enough invites flying about at the minute. I think that most people just
yeah.
get. If you
And
want
and
it,
if you
you can get it.
Yeah, and if you don't know anyone that's got an invite, then you can buy them off of eBay. People are selling invites to Clubhouse for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No way, fuck off.
Again, honestly, I saw it yesterday. Someone was on.
If
Was
someone's
on.
selling invites for this, man, I'm going to be minted. I think I've got like 4.
Yeah, literally on eBay, it was like there was some for like $400, $500. Some that were like bids were up to $1,000 just to get on an app. So I think that talks sort of the viral craze and how big it is going to be if people are that desperate to get on it
But the
now.
people know that they can't actually sit and have a fucking conversation with Drake. Like they can listen to him have a conversation with someone else that's famous, but they can't actually fucking talk to him. They know that, right?
Yeah, but it's just for your Instagram story, and just going to look at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair, fair. It's just one-on-one conversation there, so we did with 2 million other people listening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
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 yeah. But I like the concept. I think I don't know because I like visual more than audio. Like if you said to me, "Do you want?" I mean, I have a podcast, but I make a video version because I prefer personally to watch video than listen to audio. So I don't know about longevity. I know at the minute it's hype, and even in the next year to 2 years, like Ivory's predicting, there's going to be a lot of growth and there's going to be a lot more people moving to that aspect. But I don't know how long it would have in terms of longevity and whether or not people will get bored or whether they would have to start implementing a video element, but then that changes what it is. And do you know what I mean? You've already got other apps for that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, is it just going to turn into another Zoom?
Exactly. And then you've got stereo, which is already the exact same as Clubhouse. Like stereo and Clubhouse are the same app, except stereo is just not being used and has a bigger infrastructure, so physically could manage worldwide just currently.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll try and diversify. If not, they're just going to cash in on what they've already got and just go see ya.
Yeah, they're spending a fuckload on advertising, not Clubhouse now, stereo. I mean,
There, yeah,
mate, all YouTubers like so you've got like all the Sidemen, you've got like Will and Calix and all them boys,
yeah,
Cal Freezy. They're all in the last week have released videos using stereo. Like they've been doing like Sidemen have been doing like 2 of them doing like a Q&A and people dropping like voice notes into them the answer and stuff like that. So stereo's obviously seen that the market's there, seen how busy Clubhouse getting and are just fucking bombing money into their affiliates.
yeah. Thinking we need to do this like and now. And I
Yeah.
mean, Sidemen have good exposure. I mean, they get like well over 1 million views on each video. So
And they get
yeah,
over
they're
a
like,
million likes on each video, bro. They hit 10
oh no,
million the
yeah.
other month, so they did. 10
Oh
million
yeah.
subscribers, disgusting.
Do you know, I found them just before Christmas. I was like, what's this? I was just sort of sat in,
So
like,
funny.
yeah, took a day off and sort of just sat in the bath, chilling out, scrolling through YouTube. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it was when they were doing the Sidemen Go Dating and they had that Tinder thing. And I remember sitting there watching all 3 of them literally like back to back. I was in the bar for about 3 hours. It was ridiculous. I come out looking like a prawn. Um, and yeah, like their engagement literally just from 8 or 9 blokes being fucking idiots on the internet is mad.
It doesn't make sense. It's ludicrous. I mean, I think it's funny because I've always been a YouTube kid and I've always
Yeah,
like loved YouTube. And even my mates don't like understand it. But I mean, I have always watched the Sidemen. I remember when they became the Sidemen, and this was like years ago, 10 years, but yeah, almost 10 years ago, and
yeah,
well, less than that. But when they became Sidemen, they played Spencer FC. But this is before all the Wembley Cups and before all their big charity matches. And I remember when they started, and I remember watching like KSI. I remember watching his videos when he was doing like Road to First Division in FIFA.
yeah,
Like I remember watching their videos. I remember watching Harry Road to Shaw like doing his pack openings. Like I remember not Josh's fucking Kobe, they're a bit boring, but I remember
yeah,
like KSI and I remember Mini Minter and I remember Road to Shaw. And I remember watching their videos as a kid. So now, like, my missus still can't understand why I'm like sitting laughing away. And she's like, "But why? That's not funny." I'm like, "To me, that's hilarious." I'm
yeah,
like I've watched these guys for like 8 years. Like, I know them
yeah,
more than I know you, right?
yeah.
Like,
And we
and
live
then
together.
yeah, and she couldn't understand this. And then one day she was like, "Oh, that's a bit funny." So I put it on the TV, and
Yeah,
we were sitting watching. She loves it now. Honestly, all the time we're sitting having dinner. She's like, "Put Sidemen on, like put something on." I would like stick on one of the bit. She loves it, and she thinks it's fun because it's just easy to watch. I think it's the
yeah,
best content. The best content creation is just easy to watch.
Yeah, I think at the minute as well, I think why they're killing it so much is because they've just got such a captive audience. Everyone's at home, everyone's bored, and they just want sort of a bit of a lift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, when they were going out, what was it they did the other day? They had like £200,000 to spend on a credit card in like 20 minutes. You're like, everyone's like, oh, I want to do that. How do they do it? You
They
know what I
do that
mean?
all the time, mate. It's disgusting.
Talking about
Disgusting.
monetization, Mini Minter's actually got the most money out of them lot, hasn't he? He's been able to monetize his platform a lot better than KSI has.
No, not him. Vicstar has the most money in the bank. Mini Minter has a lot in terms of like actual like business. Like he owns a charity and shit like that there. So he's got the
Oh,
most
right.
in terms of like probably what you would call like liquidity or whatever like his
Yeah, yeah,
value is there. But Vicstar has money. They asked him in a spill it or shot it or something like that.
yeah.
And they said, how much have you made from Minecraft servers? And he was like, over 2 mil. Just from
Bloody hell.
servers. And that's just owning servers that people pay to come and play on. That's nothing else. He's made 2 mil
Yeah,
just off
that's
that.
crazy. Have you seen
Yeah.
his left Call of Duty?
I watched his video and then I watched a couple of like the esports channels talking about it. Did you see that Activision have actually replied to him as well? Like he's got an open line of communication now with them.
I know, yeah. That's meant. The thing is, they want people like that on their platform.
Yeah, I mean, if Vicstar turns around with his 5 YouTube channels, all combined, probably has over 100 million combined
Yeah,
on just YouTube. If he's like makes a video specifically saying, "I have quit Call of Duty Warzone. This is why I'm not playing it."
people will. They'll go.
Quite, yeah. Honestly, and I mean, I play Warzone. I don't know if you actually play that much, but it's a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare at the minute. Like
Yeah. It
billion
doesn't
pound
help that
company.
much.
If you've ever seen me on Twitch, I scream about it daily. £1 billion company, billion, right? And these guys have a loadout glitch that you can't even lift your gun from a loadout without the screen glitching for 7 seconds.
Oh, he'll be
Explain
like,
this to me, Activision. Explain this to me. I know as soon as that screen glitches, I'm getting shot in the fucking head. I'm getting lasered from 250 feet away because the game has stuck me in one position.
yeah. And they know as soon as someone goes for a loadout, I've got time to line this shot up here. There's
Yeah.
just, and you can't do anything. You can't back away from it either. You're stuck in that.
I get serious anger, mate, when that loadout comes. Like, if anyone's ever watched my Twitch, it's fucking infuriating when it happens. And you know, especially if you're playing like Rebirth Island, you know as soon as you go in there, you know you're going to get beamed in the fucking head. Like, you know it's inevitably going to happen. Every time.
Yeah.
The game's broken. The game's fucking broken. It's just... Everyone needs to stop. Everyone needs to stop just hacking and just play the game how it should be made.
Yeah, that's one thing that like you never get to me. I remember when Modern Warfare 2 was the big Call of Duty. I had it on PS3, and one of my mates from like where I grew up, the estate where I grew up, come around one day and he had this memory stick, and he was like, "I've just paid 150 quid so I could be 10 prestige online and offline." I'm like, "Why? What have you achieved there? Because you play the game because you enjoy it, and now you've got everything. You're just gonna get bored of it because you've
Yeah.
got no." And I was like, "You just paid 150 quid for some to put a bit of code in your PlayStation and unlock it." I mean, it was cool. I still did it because then I had everything in gold. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, why?
But
Why?
I just want to go back to the days of World at War, the fifth Call of Duty, when the biggest glitch or hack you would get would be like being able to stand on top of a pillar in like this burnt out building and shoot like maybe 4 people before someone beamed you in the head, and then that was it. Like there wasn't
Yeah.
hack. You couldn't hack World at War. The most you could do
No.
was, as you say, prestige up, like
Yeah.
give
Or a
yourself
glitch.
XP, or a
Yeah.
glitch hiding in a corner or something.
There was a glitch in the zombies because that was obviously where the OG
There
zombies
was,
come from.
oh yeah.
Where you could always guarantee yourself a ray gun, or there was a certain part you could stand in the wall and zombies couldn't get you. So no matter what round you were on, you just stood there and they just couldn't get you, and you could
Yeah.
just spend your time bludgeoning them because you run out of ammo and you don't want to move.
I remember doing that. I remember because me and my dad and my brother used to play it on like rotation, like 2 at a time,
Yeah,
constantly. And I remember we used to play all headshots, so you just like spend 4 rounds, just blitz
yeah,
people in the head, and you'd let them come in the door and all just so you could hit them in the head. And then the ray gun, what was that? It used to be like something like shoot 3 times, turn around, stand up, get down, up, shoot three
yeah.
times, and then when the question
Oh,
mark gold or something ludicrous like that, and then you'd be like, I
Yeah.
got the grey gun.
Yeah. And then 9 times out of 10, it was just luck anyway.
And it never meant anything. Uh, but their games again, I know we're talking about games, but they're actually again super good examples of marketing. All of them games, Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, Call of Duty, they're all fantastic. I mean, their customer service, yeah, is fucking ludicrous, but
Yeah.
their actual marketing and their branding is another level, insane.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just a brand that you know what I mean? If someone tells you, oh, would you play on the Xbox? Oh, I'll play this or I'll play that. You know, you don't see it advertised anywhere apart from sort of when they're doing releases for the new games. You don't see it advertised, I mean, anywhere. I know
Yeah,
Fortnite are doing bits on telly, but that's just to sell merch and stuff like
yeah.
that and get more 3-year-olds to spend their parents' life savings on the App Store
On
and stuff like that.
skins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
So
just the case of like, you know as well, like you know when a studio is making a game, or you hear that studio in particular is making a game, especially among game fans at least, you kind of can tell what the game's going to have.
yeah,
For game fans, like you know, like if Activision is making it, it's going to be some sort of way. Like when I knew when Apex Legends first came out, I was like, okay, that's the Respawn team that made the original Call of Duty, so it's going to be the original Call of Duty mechanics. It was sick, and then they updated it and it went on bullshit. But
yeah,
it's like when you know a certain company's making it, like you know if Rockstar is making a game, first of all, it's going to be lit anyway. But you
yeah,
know if like Rockstar America, the one in like fucking LA, you know if they're making it, it's probably Call of Duty or it's probably GTA.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And also Rockstar, GTA 6. Come on, hurry up. GTA 6, we want it.
We're not getting it anytime soon. The Cayo Perico heist has now put this back like at least till 2022.
Yeah. But
Might get a
it's,
notification by the end of this year to tell us it's coming, but even then they'll say like undetermined when it'll be out,
yeah.
guaranteed.
The thing is, they spend so much time developing it, and people were saying that about GTA 5. They spent so much time developing it, but it's so good, and the longevity of it is so good.
That's something else. I had to explain this to my girlfriend Layla. I had to explain to her like, you don't understand. I bought this game, like this one right here, when I was 17. Like I was too young to buy it. I used my fake ID in Tesco with my cousin standing behind me. I remember because I drove to Tesco beforehand, got a load of like fake energy drinks, like loads
Yeah,
of them. Was prepared in the day, went down that night, got the midnight release, went to McDonald's, couple of double cheeseburgers on the motorbike straight home. Like it was wicked. And I explained like I bought this when I was 17. I was like, I'm 25 this year. I'm like, this game has been out for like 8 years almost. Like,
yeah,
do you understand? A game to have been out for 8 years, still be this playable, still be the top videoed, the top watched game on YouTube last year in 2020. And that is a fact, by the way, people. You can check me on that. The most watched game on YouTube. Not Minecraft, not fucking Fortnite. It was Grand Theft Auto. And
yeah,
it's going to be bigger this year. There's so many more people came back because I got really deep into it. That's the only reason I know all this shit. I got really deep into it recently, and there's so many more people came back to the game in the last like 6 months, 9 months. It's insane. It's ludicrous
yeah.
how many
I
new
mean,
people are in.
I took to it quite late. So it came out when I was about 16, 17. I mean, obviously we were born same year, I turned 25 this year as well, but it came out when I was about 16, 17. But at the time I was in basic training. And so whilst I was sort of laying in a puddle in North Yorkshire, getting cold and wet and questioning every decision I'd made up in my life up to that point, all my mates from back home were like, oh, yeah, just, finish college and I'm just going to go home and play GTA for a bit. And I was like, do you know what? I know I'm doing something different and I know I'm going to build myself quite a good life doing this. But at the same time, I wish I was just in bed, like I was 15 again. No worries, you haven't got to worry about
Yeah,
anything. You haven't got school the next day because it's a Friday, just playing with your mates online and just absolutely killing it.
just
Um,
beating prostitutes to death and racing cars off the side of mountains. What
what,
more do
what
you
else?
want?
What else you want to be doing with your life?
Sitting in a puddle in Yorkshire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, look, do you want to round off with any sort of last minute advice, tips, tricks, anything out there for anyone either looking to get into digital space or currently in digital space just getting started?
uh, yeah. So don't be first off, don't be disheartened. It's hard work. You know what I mean? Like when I tell my mum, I have conversations with my mum, and she's like, "Why don't you just go get a normal job?" I'm like, well, because it doesn't pay as much as what I'm earning now. First off, and And secondly, I don't really want a boss again, because near on every other boss that I've had is a dick. So if you're watching this,
Yeah.
Mark Beckett, I mean you cunt. I hope I can say that.
All day, yeah.
So yeah, don't be disheartened. It's hard. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as just clicking a few buttons and getting a mad return on ad spend. It's hard work. It's hard graft when you start. So just be persistent with it and don't get disheartened. Niche down. If you're working with e-commerce businesses, niche down, because then you've just got repeatable, scalable systems that you can just sort of plug and play almost. You can just sort of turn around and go, oh right, I've just onboarded another clothing brand, and then you've got the same systems and schematics to use, albeit different content and stuff like that, and it just works. So yeah, be persistent, niche down, and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? We're in the weirdest time we have ever experienced in our lifetime, and probably will ever experience. I mean, anything's possible at the minute. But just enjoy where we're at. You know what I mean? It's shit that we can't go out. It's shit that we can't get a haircut. I mean, I usually have a zero fade on the side and I have to fucking buy a headband. You know what I mean? It's shit you can't see your family and stuff like that. But this is, in a way, the next revolution. We had the Industrial Revolution. We've had all that sort of shit. We're coming away from that now. We're coming away from white collar factory work. We're going online. And if you're not online, you're getting left behind at the minute. So just enjoy it. Just take it for what it is. Enjoy the ride. Embrace the bumps, and yeah, just stop licking door handles as well, so we can all talk about it in a fucking pub.
Yeah, exactly. Stop licking door handles. We all want to go back for a pint.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, thank you again, bro, for coming on today. It's been a great chat. I know this is just a typical phone call for us anyway, really, but it's good to finally get you on for the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
I appreciate it. Look, guys, if you did enjoy the video this week, consider going below, hitting like, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you get notified every week when we upload. If you want to follow Marc, go across, check him out on Instagram, Facebook. I'll drop all your links in the description, same as always. And yeah, that's it for this week, guys. We're back again next week. We'll have another guest and we'll be bringing you more value and more information. But yeah, till then, see you later.
Hello guys, how you doing? It's me, Jack, mate. You've just finished watching probably one of the best videos on YouTube. So why not take a moment to consider subscribing? And if you haven't already, hit the like button and turn the notification bell on. Apparently it helps. I don't know how. It was good to know, wasn't it?